Hello, everyone. Welcome to Octamile series webinar. My name is Prince Will. Thank you for joining us. I can see a couple of people already joined. Thank you for being early. I have Benodara here, I have Yuri here, and we'll be joining, starting off right away. Welcome to today's webinar. Like I said earlier, my name is Spencer, and we're glad to have you here with us to discuss embedded insurance, innovating for insurance, B2C businesses and consumers. Once again, thank you for taking out time in your busy schedule to join us, because if you're not here today, I don't think we would have any need to be having this important conversation. So just to get us started, we are Octamile, and Octamile is an insurtech startup company based in Nigeria presently. We are simplifying access to insurance to help insurers, B2C businesses protect underinsured African consumers from financial loss. If you look across anywhere or across every sector across Africa, you would see that there's a lot of places where insurance can fill that vacuum that exists when it comes to protecting people from financial loss. Once again, if you're just joining us, I see more people joining in. Glad to see you guys here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Some bit of webinar housekeeping. I think that we'll just like to get started by saying that, it's really pretty important for us all to be very engaged, ask questions. The webinar flow will typically be, we introduce the speakers, and then we get on with the questions. And from there, we go to just talk about, present our demos for you, read out some case studies for you, and then get to the part where we also address your questions. So once again, thank you so much for taking our time to engage with us today, to learn more about embedded insurance, and to hear about the good things that embedded insurance can do for insurers, for businesses, and for underinsured consumers across Africa. Welcome once again. I just want to get us started by saying that 33% of the insurance premium volume that would come over the next couple of years, projections by Deloitte Insurance Trend says that by 2024, 33% of the premium insurance volume will come from brand new propositions. And what this typically means that, the way we've been doing insurance all these years is great, but there's a lot of opportunities, whether you are an insurance professional, whether you are an agent, whether you're a broker, whether you're a B2C business, and very importantly as well, whether you're a consumer, there's opportunities for everyone, with these new propositions that, that is really coming out of insurance. I would like to introduce our speakers, and I am really, really honored and excited to introduce Yuri. Thank you so much for joining us. Yuri has over 20 years of insurance experience that he has gained across several insurance companies, as well as working with insurers, reinsurers, insurtech, and research and consulting companies as an advisor on insurance innovation. He has a solid knowledge of insurance business and insurtech. And, in 2021, Yuri founded the Open and Embedded Insurance Observatory. And, the whole of the goal of this organization is basically to help build this new form of a way to do insurance, which is open and embedded insurance, to promote it and facilitate its adoption, and not just across Europe where he is, across Africa and just everywhere. And that's why we are glad to have you join us today. Welcome, Yuri. Hello.
Hello. Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Yuri. It's a pleasure to have you as well. And I would also like to introduce our host, who also happens to be my boss. Yuri is the CEO and founder of Octamile. Octamile is an insurtech startup backed by VCs focused on enabling financial protection for Africans via insurance. He has some experience having studied insurance, but eventually had to go all over the place to build African businesses. And his first love of what he studies has brought him back to start building the insurance business that is Octamile, that is transforming insurance across Nigeria and across Africa. Guero, glad to have you here. Hi, Gary, can you hear me?
It's really great to have everyone today. Thanks everyone for joining.
Okay, thank you, Gary. And once again, everyone, welcome. It's today's webinar, Octamile series webinar, is Embedded Insurance, Innovating for Insurers, B2C businesses and consumers in Africa. I will pass the mic now to Bero and Yuri to have the conversations, and then we can come back and continue. Thank you so much. Over.
Thanks a lot, Prince Will, for setting the ball rolling there. It's really great to be talking to someone like Yuri, who's got so much experience in this industry, and also even building and driving the whole theme of open insurance and embedded insurance globally. So we're really excited to have you, Yuri. But before we even go into the of the conversation, I would love to hear a bit about you from yourself. Your profile has probably done a great job, but would like you to tell our audience a little bit about yourself and maybe something personal. Which football team, if you're a fan of football, which football team do you support?
Sure, thanks a lot. Well, so in terms of sports, I support Inter Milan as a football team, but I am more passionate about other sports. Particularly, I played rugby till 3 years ago, and I am still a big fan of the Italian team of rugby. And about me, I've been in insurance for over 20 years. I started my career at Generali, which is an Italian group with global reach. I worked 10 years in insurance companies. I also worked for Aviva in Italy. Then I moved abroad. I spent 8 years abroad between UK and Ireland. I switched from manager and insurance company to advisor, focusing on insurance innovation. And last year, I decided to launch an initiative to operate vertically on open insurance and embedded insurance. And I decided to create the observatory because I realized that the embedded insurance and open insurance are two very significant trends. Very significant phenomenon. Embedded insurance already is a big business in insurance. I can share some figures later. But I realized that in the market there is a big lack of knowledge about embedded insurance and open insurance. And so I thought that creating an observatory focused on researching and providing advisory on those two big topics were the best thing to do. for this reason, to also to educate the market and to create and share knowledge. So I created the Open Embedded Insurance Observatory, which has been successful since the beginning, and so successful that towards May of this year, I made of the observatory my full-time job. We have over 40 global organizations that joined the observatory as members. We have insurance groups like Generali, like Munich Re, Discogs, and many others. We have several organizations that we call embedded insurance enablers, like Pattern, like Zongantech, Boltech, and many others. Then we have many other companies that play a role in embedded insurance or open insurance. So we have data companies like Planck Data, like Codata. We have companies like SAS. We have BlaBlaCar, which is a car sharing company based in France, and many others. So yes, this is in a nutshell my background and the origin of the observatory.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Yuri. It's really great to have your wealth of experience being shared with us today. So just dive straight into the topic of today. Embedded insurance. Is it just some sort of buzzword that we're hearing over and over again? What does it mean to you? How would you define it?
Yes, sure. So embedded insurance is definitely a topic that everybody in the industry today is talking about. But there is it's not just a buzzword. It's a very solid model. So to provide a definition, our definition of embedded insurance is that embedded insurance is about placing insurance products and services in the day-to-day flow of customers' lives and work. And when we say customers, we mean both retail customers and business customers. And this creates contextual opportunities to provide the utility of insurance, it is protection, provide protection to retail customers and business customers, the protection that they need when they need it. So when we talk about embedded insurance, we need to focus on not on the structure that we have created in the years to sell insurance and to manage insurance. We need to think to the essence of insurance, that is the utility of insurance, that is the protection. We take protection, the product of protection, and we are able now, thanks to digital transformation, thanks to internet, thanks to the new platforms, marketplaces that have become the new places where customers are, we can offer insurance, the utility of insurance through those channels. We can enlarge the reach of insurance. In embedded insurance, there are three main players involved. On one side, there is the insurance provider. It is an insurance or insurance company that operates insurance services and expose them to the distribution partners. On the other hand, there are the distribution partners, so those non-insurance companies that integrate insurance services into their open technology systems. In this way, the distribution partners make of insurance a feature of their non-insurance core offerings. So imagine Amazon that offer insurance to when you buy an electronic device or to their business customers. Imagine to e-commerce websites, imagine to softwares that today offer insurance to their customers. There are an incredible big number of use cases. And very often, in between the insurance providers and the distribution partners, we have those companies that we define embedded insurance enablers. So they are companies that facilitate or simplify the integration between the insurer provider and the distributor. Those enablers can provide a range of enablement services. They can provide digital onboarding, digital mobile insurance software, data aggregation, digital payments, etc. A particular category of enablers are those insurtechs called insurance as a service providers that can also provide insurance licensing and capacity. So the world of enablers is very fragmented and very variable with different business models and a big number of players.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. That was very insightful. So, you know, beyond just seeing the technical terms of the word embedded or open, I think the focus really needs to be on the impact and the opportunity to distribute insurance via new channels, and that overall opportunity to expand financial protection for more individuals. Very, very interesting context, and also expanding and telling us more about the value chain there. But the next question I probably have, you probably have touched on a little bit, or maybe you could dive in a little bit. Are there specific trends that you are seeing currently in the embedded insurance and open insurance theme? I know you talked about payments, you talked about various distribution partners. Could you just tell us a little bit more about what maybe top 2 or top 3 trends that you're seeing currently around this theme?
Yes, sure. So first of all, I would like to mention the fact that there are in this moment the perfect conditions to make embedded insurance law. On one side, insurance providers are looking to grow. And but they are struggling to grow in the traditional way through agents, brokers, and bank insurance. Embedded insurance today represent for them the biggest opportunity to achieve the growth that they are looking for. And this is not something that I only myself believe, but this is the feedback and the feeling of the insurance companies that are part of the observatory. On the other side, there is today the technology to make embedded insurance, and embedded insurance is also leveraging on the previous trend called embedded finance, that is offering financial services through non-traditional channels. So once people and businesses are used to being offered financial services through non-financial services companies, being offered insurance is a logical step forward for them. So embedded insurance for sure will benefit from the growth of embedded finance. In terms of trends, one of the most significant trends that we are seeing is that insurance companies are willing to adopt embedded insurance to distribute products belonging to lines of business that traditionally have not been distributed through alternative channels. So embedded insurance for sure is huge. We think to travel insurance, we can think to extended warranties, we can think to auto insurance distributed through the car dealers. But today, we are seeing embedded insurance applied also on lines of business that traditionally were considered too complicated, too sophisticated to be distributed through those channels. So we're seeing accounting software companies distributing business insurance to the users. We are seeing health insurance distributed in embedded mode. Think to companies like BIMA, for example, operating in Asia, in Africa, in South America. Cyber insurance is distributed in embedded mode, normally bundled with cybersecurity services and driven by cybersecurity services. So this is probably the most significant trend that we are seeing. And another trend is the incredible growth of the new digital distributors, so digital platforms, marketplaces, digital ecosystem, vertical SaaS. So the growth of those new places where customers are is the biggest enabler of embedded insurance.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Yuri. So exactly, look, we're seeing a lot of these trends as well in Africa. We see a lot of marketplaces. We see a lot of fintechs looking at this opportunity. We now see, even though on the insurance provider side, that they're genuinely warming up to see this as a new trend and a new way to do business. So I'd really say it's really exciting times ahead, and it would be great to see how things evolve over the years. Just to come a bit to more of local context and maybe a bit of specifics. So Africa is a country, or it's a continent where less than 3% of people have any form of insurance. So only maybe 2 or 1 out of 100 individuals have any form of financial protection. And just like you said, embedded insurance is a way to expand the access, expand the reach of insurance or financial protection in whatever form to many people. How do you think that brokerage businesses, consumer businesses, how do you think specifically it affects these people? And even for the people who are not insured, what are the benefits of embedded insurance to them? So clearly, yes, it helps increase access, like you already pointed out, and more insurance can be brought into the financial protection X. But what other specific benefits for maybe the providers, the brokers, and other players in the value chain do you see?
Yes. So ultimately, embedded insurance is about making insurance more accessible to people and businesses. And this will help to reduce the protection gap that is a problem not only in Africa, but also in Europe, North America, almost everywhere in the globe. So by making insurance accessible, what does it mean? It means that with embedded insurance, you let people and businesses access insurance through environments that people and businesses know, because they use that environment, that software every day. So think to e-commerce websites, how often you do e-commerce on Amazon, for example, and how often you use the app of your insurer. So making insurance accessible through in those environments that people and businesses know is the big advantage of embedded insurance. And the other point is that in those environments, with those environments, people and businesses have they trust that environment. They exchange data. They create data, because every time you have an interaction with an accounting software and e-commerce, you create data. And this obviously is something that can be transformed in advantage for the customers and for the insurers and distributors, because those data can be used to offer people exactly the kind of insurance that they need at the moment when they need it. And this is something that a traditional distributor of insurance can't do, because they are not present at the moment of need. Embedded insurance can be offered at the best pricing, because being automated and being informed by the behavior of people, in their interactions, this can enable dynamic pricing. Which means offering the price that is the best for that person in that moment in that channel, and ultimately offering insurance with the user experience that the customer knows, that is user experience offered by the channel that is using in that moment. So those are the big enablers of embedded insurance, and this is why through embedded insurance, people and businesses will probably be more insured in the future, and this will contribute to reduce the protection gap.
Yeah, wow, thanks a lot, Yuri. I hope the insurance providers and brokers on this webinar are noting a lot of things down. But I'll just recap a little bit some gems that Yuri mentioned. Data, embedded insurance is, really an opportunity to bridge that data gap as quick as possible, leveraging data from new channels like marketplaces, e-commerce platforms, fintechs, to be able to even underwrite better, to be able to even provide products that actually meet the needs of consumers. I mean, in our research, this is one of the things that we have understood and found out that has hampered the growth of insurance, that a lot of the products hardly meet the needs of the individuals who these things are being offered to. And even in terms of the opportunity for automation, embedded insurance clearly is an opportunity to automate a lot of the processes that insurance providers and brokers are having to deal with manually. Thanks a lot for that. Another question, I have here is, some research say the embedded insurance market will be worth about 3 billion potential annually soon, and it has the potential to reduce about 50% of industry costs, which essentially is the distribution costs. What's your thoughts around embedded insurance impact and its ability to reduce the cost of distribution of insurance? Could you tell us a little bit more from your own experience?
Yes, here I think that if we think to your continent, to Africa, it has proved to be a top location for fintech, for the ability of the fintech and financial services players to involve non-financial services companies in the distribution. So just think to a company like M-Pesa, for example, created by the telecommunication operator Safaricom. M-Pesa was in 2008 already in the pockets of million Kenyan people, and there were more Kenyan people having M-Pesa rather than bank accounts. So M-Pesa has been able to provide an incredible contribution to reduce the financial exclusion in your continent. Embedded insurance represents an opportunity both for insurers and insurers. Why? Because particularly for insurers, in my opinion, because the larger is the distance between the insurance provider and the final customer, the bigger is the opportunity for embedded insurance. Because through embedded insurance, directly partnering with distributors, you can reduce a lot the costs that go to increase the cost for the final customer. Let me provide some figures. So to sell insurance online, you need to pay companies like Google, Facebook to generate traffic to your website. But this is very expensive. Just think that based on Statista figures, the cost per click for online advertising of insurance keywords in the US amounts to roughly 18 euros. And this is the highest amount in the considered industries. And by the way, the customer acquired in this way have an average low lifetime value because they will shop for insurance at the next renewal, because they're basically looking for cheap insurance. Differently, by partnering with an embedded insurance distributor, you can play in a totally different playing field. So you do not pay for the traffic generated, but you pay the distributor for the policies sold. Just to provide an order of magnitude, if you are a UK-based digital broker on MGA, your average cost of acquisition of a small medium enterprise using traditional digital advertising will be around £200 per SME. While if you partner with an embedded insurance distributor, the acquisition cost is on average equal to £40, which means 80% cheaper, lower. So there is no doubt that looking at the numbers, embedded insurance is able to reduce a lot the cost of distribution in the advantage of reinsurers and in the advantage of insurers, and obviously in the advantage of the final customers that will benefit from this.
Thanks a lot, Yuri. Clearly, there is a huge opportunity for the entire industry. When I hear you, if I hear you correct, not just for the insurance providers themselves, even for brokers, opportunities for them to partner there. I see lots of questions popping up. We will give Yuri the opportunity to answer these questions as well. So we've talked a lot about more on the insurance providers and the brokers, the impact of them. How about on consumer businesses, on non-insurance businesses, like you rightly mentioned? What are the what specifically can they do to leverage this opportunity for growth and consumer retention? Any ideas? Any thoughts on that?
Yes, sure. So there is an inevitable benefit that a non-insurance company can have from selling insurance. That is the economic part, the commission that you can gain, or the referral fee that you can gain. But this is only the surface. The big advantages on top of the economic part are in terms of loyalty and in terms of overall customer spend. So we know that the more a customer buys products from a brand, the more that customer will be loyal to that brand. And obviously, offering insurance, offering financial services will go to increase the number of products and services that the customer has with the brand, with the benefit in terms of loyalty. And we also know that the more a customer buys products and services from a brand, no core products and services, the more this will drive the spend of the customer with the core products and services. So by offering non-core products, this also drives the customer to spend more with the brand with its core products. So it's the benefits are not only in terms of revenue increase, but in terms of loyalty and in terms of overall customer brand and customer brand loyalty. So it makes a lot of sense for brands, and in fact we are seeing that an incredibly increasing number of brands from very different industries are starting to offer financial services and insurance services.
All right, thank you. So non-insurance businesses can and should see this as an opportunity to even drive customer loyalty by embedding insurance as a product or as a feature in their own businesses.
Actually, this is something that because it might not be straightforward for a brand to understand those dynamics. So it's important for the insurance companies that want to do embedded insurance. It's important for the people and organizations that are willing to make embedded insurance grow. It's important to communicate this, to explain brands that it's not just about gaining more money. There are much more benefits involved in embedding insurance and financial services. And by explaining this, this will also help create a better relationship between the distributor and the insurer, because if the distribution partnership is based only on the revenues that the extra revenues that the distributor can gain to embedded insurance, the partnership is weaker. Differently, if we are able to explain the other benefits that are more long-term that the brand can have by embedding financial services and insurance services, this will create stronger partnerships at the point that we are seeing in the most advanced market where embedded insurance is done, that in this moment is in Asia. In Asia, we see that the strongest partnerships, those that are providing more business, see, for example, not only distribution partnership, but the creation of joint ventures between the insurers and the distributors. So this is an important message to deliver, that we do not have only to look at embedded insurance as an extra source of revenue for distributors, but a strategic leverage that they can use to have more loyal customers and customers that spend more with them.
Wow, that's very interesting. So it also could even be looked at from even a more strategic point of view, and long-term definitely will have impact on consumer brands. I try to take it home. I just have two other questions for you. One question is, with your experience around engaging regulatory bodies and understanding legislation in Europe and all over the world, what have you seen any regulatory policies which could help industry leaders accelerate insurance penetration, in the context of Africa?
Yes, generally speaking, if we look at innovation in insurance and financial services, this is more effective where there is low friction. So friction is driven by legacy. Countries with low legacy have an inevitable advantage when it's about innovating quickly compared to markets with an heavy legacy like Europe and North America. And when I say legacy, I do not mean only technology, but I also mean legacy culture, legislation, so that infrastructure that we have been building to use and to manage insurance. This is why in continents where there is less legacy, both technology, cultural, and regulatory, like in Asia, for example, the pace of speed of innovation and the pace of speed of insurance inclusion is higher, definitely higher. Obviously, we need to keep balancing between the interest of the customers and the interest of the insurance players. But we also need to consider that being more insured is ultimately in the interest of the final customers. We know that the more society is insured, the more people are insured against risks for the families, the more businesses are insured, the more they are resilient against bad things that can happen. The more businesses are insured, the more they are innovative because they can take risks. So having more insured people and businesses is an advantage for them. And I think that regulators need to take this into consideration. We have published a report in June, and we have spoken in this report about two new regulations. One in Brazil that has already been really operative, and one in Australia that is going to be operative in the next months, probably. Those new regulations are creating a framework for open insurance, so for data sharing. They will be very, very important. Another thing that we see helps increase the penetration of insurance is making some kind of insurances mandatory. So for example, in North America and Europe, some insurances like tenant insurance, professional indemnity, insurance against natural catastrophes, they are mandatory in some countries. And on top of this, another thing that helps the insurance penetration is the creation of public reinsurers or hybrid consortiums of reinsurance, public and private. So, for example, this exists in France and in many North European countries. And this helps the industry to take more risks and to increase the offering of insurance, because very often there is not only a lack of demand, but there is also a lack of offering of insurance. And those initiatives can help increase the offering and ultimately reduce the protection gap. And so I think that in Africa, initiatives like so I think that first of all, Africa is definitely very well positioned in terms of low legacy, which is good, and probably taking into consideration making some insurances mandatory, creating hybrid or public insurance or consortiums can help to increase the offering and reduce the protection gap.
Awesome, Yuri. So thanks for those examples you shared as well. I'll just like to dive right into the final question before we ask questions as well. Before I hand over back to Princeville, and also we can take questions from the from our attendees. So, what should underwriters and brokers look for? How should they think about when they are developing an embedded insurance strategy? Do you see any challenges and opportunities specifically that they should be aware of? Of course, you've talked a lot about the opportunities already. So maybe more around challenges. What challenges do you think they may face and should be aware of?
Yes, sure. So when you ask a company that has been used to do things in a certain way for years and years and decades, obviously asking them to change that is always involves some challenges. Think to this. Think to an SME, small medium business that comes from a broker, and an SME that comes to an insurer from an accounting software. They are both SMEs, but they will be very different because they reach the insurer from two different, completely different channels. They will be different in terms of approach to insurance, in terms of needs, probably, in terms of propensity to buy insurance. So insurers are used to deal with retail and business customers that come from brokers, from agents, from banks. Now, dealing with customers that come to them from e-commerce websites, from marketplaces, from super apps, they are completely different customers. And dealing with those customers means for insurers that they need to adopt a different approach. What do I mean with different approach? So, for example, we know that insurers are used to build products based on the data that they have, based on the statistics, creating a product, giving that product to their broker and agents, and ask broker and agents to sell that product. If we think to how many home insurance policies an insurance company have, they will probably have one kind of insurance policy, maybe two, with a different variants inside. With embedded insurance, we know that on average, you launch 20 products, and three or four of those will be successful. The other will not be successful. So adopting, so to be successful in embedded insurance, is required to be more flexible, to be aware that you need to launch 20 products to have 3 or 4 successful. This is a completely shift required to ensure a completely different approach. They also need to be open to adopt new pricing models, to be open to use data that they are not used to consider, new data sources, to collaborate with new data sources. So they are required to they would make a mistake if they think that they can do embedded insurance with the same mindset and the same tools that they have traditionally used. It's always insurance. They are always doing the same business, that is insuring people and businesses, but the approach that they need to adopt is different. And partnering with brands that are used to deal with people, that know how people and businesses behave, this can teach insurers a lot. That's why with the observatory, we are building an organization where we have insurance companies, tech companies, we have distributors. We think that by putting those organizations together, by creating opportunities for them to meet, to share knowledge, is a very big value and can help the industry to grow and to do business better.
Wow, awesome. Thank you so much. So just to recap, the insurance providers also need to think about it in terms of with this new demand, they need to stay a little bit flexible in terms of even approach and pricing, and to be able to meet the needs of these individuals. I've personally learned so much already in these few minutes chatting with you, Yuri. I would love to give the opportunity to other members of the audience to also ask some questions. I see questions already dropping, so I'll hand over to my colleague, Prince Will, who will take over from here. Thank you so much, Yuri, and looking forward to learning more from you as well again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Yuri. Fantastic conversation. Also learned a lot here. Okay, so just in less than 5 minutes, I see about 3 questions. We'll take questions and get Yuri to react to them. But before then, I just want to sort of, we've been talking about embedded insurance, and I just wanted to just walk us through a case study and play a short video of one of our APIs with one of our partners, helping them integrate motor insurance into their platform. And at Octamile, one of the things that we do is to look at what the situation is, whether you are the B2C business, whether you are the insurer, whether you are the brokerage business or agent business, and build solutions that are context relevant to you. And you will see what I mean very shortly, because the partner that I am going to play the visual for, one of the things that work for them in their case, when we get to the demo, is that they were a team that didn't have a lot of engineering people on their team. So they needed a solution that was very low code. It wasn't going to stress them to integrate. And we found out that in their case, APIs wasn't going to work. And we went the widget route, and that's what they've been using. And the feedback so far has been fantastic. So moving on, I'm just going to share a case study. We all know the brand Gokada. If you live in Nigeria and even somewhere else in Africa, this is a big brand when it comes to logistics. The brand transitioned from being a transportation app and movement app, into logistics. And, they reached out to our team to embed goods in transit insurance and rider insurance covers for their partners. And we worked with them, looked at what the solution would be for them, looked at what was also available in the market with underwriters, and then we worked with their team to embed insurance. One of the things that we've noticed since embedding that insurance is that, with their riders, there's a lot more trust. It's impacting them, when they have incidents, they can just walk into any of the partner hospitals and they're taken care of. For the customers as well, we've noticed, having conducted a survey, that, it increased customer satisfaction over a short period of about 3 months or less by 29.6%. 100%. We've also had to integrate with embedded insurance. One of the things that we also built at Octamile is automating claims, which is a huge problem in Africa, where people have to wait 3 months, 2 months, in some cases a couple of weeks. And we also automated claims. Now they get to handle their claims faster, get that done, send it in, and then the insurer gets it, and then there's that response. End to end, everything is managed, and that has been working for them. For the demo, I was talking about on motor insurance. I am going to have to move back to reshare my screen so that you're able to see that real time online. Just give me a minute, please. Okay. Okay, so what you have on screen is the motor insurance widget. In this case scenario, our partner didn't have this information. For other partners, what will typically happen is this information is already in their database and is already pre-filled. The customer gets to choose if it's third party or comprehensive insurance, what type of vehicle it is, chooses their vehicle type, chooses the model, chooses the year, also imputes their engine ID, and then proceeds. Instantly, what happens is it takes them to the page that is for the policyholder, puts in a couple of information. Like I mentioned earlier, if this information was available as data with the partner, everything that you see here happening will be pre-filled, and it will get to have the customer jump over to the payment page right away. So it's super seamless, it's easy, there's no hassle. Immediately, it also generates the value of the car that has also been pre-filled, and then they get to proceed to the next stage. And then what you see is a third-party cover, clicks on checkout, the payment gateway comes up, and then what you have is it shows success once they pay, and they instantly receive an email and a certificate in their inbox. That's the difference that embedded insurance, in our case with our partners, is making for them, and it's something that we want everyone, every insurer on the continent to be able to experience, as well as consumers. So moving forward, what I would like to do now is to read out some of the questions that you have. If you have more questions, either about anything that's been spoken before or anything I just shared, please use the Q&A feature so that we can get a reaction. Now, the first question is from Yemi. Yemi is asking Yuri, this seems more geared towards underwriting companies and direct underwriters. Is there competition for brokers? How do brokers benefit from embedded insurance? Over to you, Yuri.
Yes. We know that to distribute insurance, we also need to have an authorized organization that make the intermediation of the policy, that provide advisory, etc. In every embedded insurance framework, there is an intermediary. Now, what is happening is that there is a vertical integration, an increasing vertical integration. We are seeing an increasing number of insurtech enablers that are getting intermediation licenses. Some of them are also becoming insurers themselves. So think to Element in Germany is an insurtech company, and they are also an insurance company. So there is this trend. Obviously, the more a business is interesting, the more the players want to be in control of it. One thing I wanted to say, I firmly believe that embedded insurance will never substitute agents and brokers. That will not happen. We are also seeing embedded insurance probably will increase its market share in retail customers and micro, small SMEs customers, but it will never substitute agents and brokers. We see that in different geographies, we see that people like to have at a certain point of the customer experience an interaction with a human operator. And this happens also for retail product and small commercial product. So the role of intermediaries, professional intermediaries, will continue to be paramount in insurance. What will change, and brokers can definitely play a role in this, what will change is the way insurance is offered, the way insurance is exposed to customers. So in this, definitely brokers can play an important role. What they should not do, in my humble opinion, is doing nothing. Doing nothing and thinking to continue doing business like they did years ago is the biggest threat. So this is my suggestion, both for insurers and for intermediaries.
Okay, thank you, Yuri. Whether you're a broker, whether you're an insurer, don't do business as usual. That is really, really key to move into the next generation. The next question is from Farida. Farida is asking, insurance being a controlled financial service requires collaboration between the underwriters and all downstream value chain players. How do you enhance innovation and diversity in the product offerings?
Sorry, I'm not able to find the question. I wanted to read it. So can you repeat it, please?
Okay, so insurance being a controlled financial service requires collaboration between the underwriters and all downstream value chain players. Basically, the underwriters and everyone involved in the insurance value chain players, brokers, and everyone, regulatory bodies and everyone. How do you enhance innovation and diversity in product the product offerings, considering that insurance is a controlled financial service requiring the collaboration of so many people in the value chain? How do you manage that being able to enhance innovation and diversity, not having so many bottlenecks in the process?
Yeah, I probably is my limit, but I'm not able to understand the question. I am sorry. I am probably not getting it.
GD, you want to help? GD, you like to help here?
Let me take a stab at it. I think the person is. I think Frida is trying to emphasize the fact that insurance is a regulated financial service that definitely has to be done with the collaboration of licensed providers. Just like Yuri mentioned, that having the regulatory need in mind, it's important to partner with everyone in the value chain. But the question of how do you then enhance innovation and diversity in the product offerings? In my opinion, I think to be able to enhance innovation and diversity, first of all, it's at willingness of every party, of both parties at the table, to genuinely innovate. On the insurance provider side, just like you said, they need to be flexible even in the kind of product that they are willing to deploy or push via these channels. On the partner side, they also need to be very collaborative in terms of providing more data and showing more data that the providers can leverage to create more innovative and diverse products. That's the way I would approach this question. I think that clearly Frida understands that there is the opportunity there, but in terms of how to enhance that partnership, I think everybody on the table has to be willing to move a bit from their current positions and their current postures. Just like Yuri said, everyone must realize that we can't do business as usual, and we must work together to build a solid product that works.
Thank you so much, Guiro. Yes, everyone was work together to build a solid product that works. And I think one of the things that we've noticed at Octamile, consulting with everyone on the value chain as well, is we do get a lot of no's, but I think at the end of the day, nobody can argue with results. Nobody can argue with numbers. You might, when it comes to innovation and diversity of your product offerings or whatever you want to suggest, maybe this might be internally or maybe across the value chain, like you're saying, you might just have to start at the minute level. I do think that in our experience, when you're able to show value, show that there's something here, people begin to sort of peel back. They won't do it immediately, they won't do it at the same time, but over time, you'll get to have people aligning. Thank you so much, Frida. Thank you, everyone engaging as well. I think that the last one here is not sort of a question, it's a comment, and it's Adenka saying that that embedded insurance is happening at a minimal level. As a broker, the most important and sustainable business and that is all year round is the embedded insurance. And this is really true, because whether you are on Christmas holiday and someone wants to buy goods insurance or any service that you're offering, it happens seamlessly. Even as a broker, that can happen for you. He says that his entity has already done this year at a very minimal level. It says it takes time to conclude. You have to have several meetings, reviews, sometimes regulatory approval. Just also keen into the question that Frida had also mentioned. But once it's concluded, it continues on like once in a year covers, right? Product bundling capacity and new risk-based insurance of Nikon is also helping. The web provider guidelines by the regulator is right on time for embedded insurance. Overall, when insurance is embedded and not bought, it's easier and value is appreciated. I am an advocate for embedded insurance, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for the kind words and your insights, Adenka. Thank you, Beru. Thank you, Yuri. It's been a wonderful time doing this. If you have any questions, you can just send us an email, whether you want to ask about our solutions at Octamile. We are an all-in-one insurance solutions platform, not just embedded insurance. We build automated claim solutions. We build embedded, whether they're APIs or widgets, as well for our underwriting partners, as well as for our B2C clients as well. We also have some risk solutions and risk assessment and analysis solutions that makes it easier, whether it is from the time you're doing your onboarding or from the time where you want to calculate premiums is very instant, and all that. It's seamless. At the end of the day, it's a new age in the insurance industry, and you really, as an insurer in this age, want to be part of that. Yuri, any last words? Thank you so much for joining us today. Any last words to everyone that's joined?
Yes, thank you very much for having me. It's been a pleasure, and I will be happy to participate to other events if there will be an opportunity. So thanks a lot. I am sorry for not getting properly the question, my limit, and thank you, everyone. And if you want, feel free to get in touch with me on LinkedIn.
Yes, thank you so much. You can always reach out to Yuri on LinkedIn. Beru as well, thank you for hosting and having this conversation with Yuri. We appreciate you for coming on. To everyone else, you can check us out, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on LinkedIn. You can find us at Octamile. We're always open to engaging whatever it is that you would like us, to help you achieve, either as an insurer or a B2C business. We're always willing to have that conversation. So once again, thanks for taking out time from your busy schedules to come and engage with us. Have a fantastic evening and enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Thank you. Bye, everyone.